welcome back to this week's edition of the F1 show. We're going around to talk about the East Asian doubleheader being Singapore and Japan. So obviously there is no Will Kingswood this week, unfortunately. His voice has decided that he can't allow him to join us today, but it is me and Will Biddles. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. It's nice to be back. Uni starting again, and nothing's too hard just yet, so it's good to be back. No, same here. It's all good. We can get started with the year and everything. But yeah. So, and also, I suppose, as a Ferrari fan, there is one big thing to cheer for, that Ferrari won a race this year, breaking the race winning streak of Max Verstappen. So, with Carlos Sainz not keeping it at 10 races in a row in Singapore, with Red Bull having a very off weekend. Not an off weekend, they had an absolute mare of a weekend. And, yeah. I don't know if it was a mare. By their standards, sure, but I mean, Verstappen still finished 5th.
Yeah.
It's like, the car was dreadful. It literally looked like Bambi on ice, and he still managed to bring it back in 5th, which I don't think is necessarily a bad result, considering how bad that car looked in qualifying. So, I mean, yeah, they'll be disappointed not to extend their streak. It was the first time this season Verstappen didn't finish on the podium, but...
Yeah. But... yeah, I mean, I get what you mean, but I think this is... yeah, but definitely by their standards and how dominant Max has been, I think regardless how good or bad the car has seemed, it was definitely an off weekend for them. But yeah, I mean, we were just mentioning Carlos Sainz did finish that race and holding off Lando Norris, and charging George Russell until the final lap, which we'll get onto later, which unfortunately kind of meant he could not finish that race altogether. But yeah, I'll quickly run through do like a quick rundown of the thing. Carlos Sainz, obviously, we said finishing in first, converting his pole into a victory as well. So all in all, and actually a very good weekend for Ferrari overall. Lando Norris coming in second, just behind, followed by Lewis Hamilton, who we've spent most of the race kind of scrapping with George Russell a little bit as well. Or is that, am I confusing with Japan?
No, it was. I think he came alive more after the pit stop. I think George definitely looked more of the dominant driver, and then when he got to Lando, Lewis kind of seemed to have a bit more pace. Yeah.
Then fourth place we have Charles Leclerc, who seemed to have fairly decent, but then obviously got unfortunately hampered by the double stacking. Unfortunately, he got held up at the pits because the Mercedes also double stacking and traffic as well.
Yeah, so he ended up losing 2 positions to Lando and George. I think the reason that Carlos managed to hold on a little bit better than he did was the fact that Carlos had free air, and Charles was kind of stuck in traffic for a long time, so his tyres, by the time he was left out on them for 40 laps, wasn't going to have the best chances.
Yep. And then, nothing more said there. 5th place, Max Verstappen coming in 5th place. Actually doing a decent drive considering how slippery that Red Bull was, and just with the lack of downforce that car seemed to have all weekend as well. 6th place, Pierre Gasly, kind of a bit more under the radar, but it's still a very solid performance to get 6th place.
Yeah, continuing his trend after his podium in Zandvoort as well.
Yep, very, very much so. Oscar Piastri, who I believe was coming from towards the back of the grid.
He was like 16th or 17th, I think. Yeah. I think he might have gone out in Q1, actually.
Yeah, I think he went at Q1, but he came up to 7th. Again, respectable performance. Sergio Perez coming in 8th place. I mean, again, obviously, as usual, behind Verstappen, but I think you can't blame him as much with how slippery that car was and just how out of form that car seemed to be as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was like an average Checo weekend.
Yeah.
Just he didn't get driver of the day for once.
Yeah, at least at least compared to the race after, which we'll talk about, this is definitely a decent performance.
Yeah, compared to Japan, this is like the highlight of his career. So.
Yeah. And then obviously one of the more headline performances, Liam Lawson coming out with a points finish. Again standing in for Daniel Ricciardo due to his broken wrist from Zandvoort. Kevin Magnussen finishing the points with Haas. And then we move into the non-finishers: Alex Albon, Zhou Guanyu, Nico Hulkenberg, Logan Sargent finishing 14th, then Fernando Alonso, and then we had four DNFs that race. It was George Russell, as we talked about on the final lap, will come on later. Valtteri Bottas, Esteban Ocon, which the inevitable Alpine engine breakdown. That's just one of the most inevitable things ever this season.
Yeah, especially in the heat. You kind of just know it's going to blow up.
Yep. And Yuki Tsunoda being absolutely being done over by his engine once more. Fortunately, he's not had the greatest reliability streak this year, but but that kind of rounds out the Singapore. I mean, well, what would you give that race out of 10?
Personally, it's like a 10 because Ferrari won. But I think actually it's probably one of the top races of the season. You had people coming through the grid. You had constant, not necessarily overtaking, but there was always some action going on somewhere. I'd give it like an 8.5, maybe a 9. I think it just needed that more overtaking in that middle period to make it a proper 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd definitely give it a 9 out of 10. It was definitely one race that was just good to see, especially. I think it was just a very good demonstration. If you just take Max out of the equation, how close the grid really is.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because he pretty much had 3 different teams fighting for the win, kind of in that respect as well, with Ferrari, Mercedes, and McLaren all up there fighting for the podium positions as well. And like I said, maybe if there was a bit more overtaking, a bit more that sort of action, then yes, definitely would be a 10 out of 10. But definitely one of the best races of the season, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think if you're the FIA, you're very pleased with this race because it shows that your new regs are working.
Yeah,
cars can follow. You do get these close races, and it's the first time all season we've seen a battle for the lead. But these battles have been on all season, but it's just not been for the win. So I think to have it for the win, even if it was only once, is still something that's really exciting.
Yeah, very much so. So I think we can probably just talk about some of the team sort of like big winners. We can probably talk about Mercedes to begin with, probably. Just talk about the team dynamic in that race.
Yeah, so I think it was just before that they both signed their new contracts, hadn't they? So they both through for another 2 years. It was interesting, I think, because George was comfortably better, I think, for most of the race.
Yes.
But he just burnt his tyres out so quickly getting through everyone.
Yeah.
That he just kept pushing. Yes, I think Lewis should have been given a go, but I could not see George giving him the chance.
Yeah. No, I think, I couldn't agree more. And I suppose it's a very... I suppose I might as well tie in Japan into this as well now.
Yeah.
Sort of, since we're talking about both races today anyway. It seems to be we are definitely seeing some moments of friction coming between those two drivers now. With the way they have been scrapping... I mean, to be fair, they've been providing some very good racing, especially when both of them go wheel to wheel with each other, but... Definitely, could you sense that tension definitely brewing, escalating very quickly?
I'm getting like end of Bottas at Mercedes and Rosberg vibes, where the second driver, not that there is a clear one in this case, is just doesn't want to give in. Like they're fed up of being asked to kind of let someone through, and ultimately they're all race drivers at the end of the year. Like at the end of the day, they don't want to have to cede positions and admit their teammates faster than them. So I think it's a matter of pride, especially for George Russell, who's not had the best return from the summer break. So it's getting a lot tenser than what it was.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of Russell, we have definitely seen an upwards trajectory, and especially we saw towards the end of Singapore with that sort of strategy that he was really contending for definitely second place in that respect, literally all over the back of Norris until the inevitable crash happened. When it was a weird one because obviously when you watch it, you see Norris clip that ball with his back right, but then all of a sudden the next thing you know, you just see the Mercedes just suddenly going forward.
Yeah, you kind of almost watch it, you're like, oh no, Norris has clipped the wall. You come around the corner, you see the Ferrari, then the McLaren, and then there's just a silver arrow just going horizontally at the top of the screen. It's just, it's not ideal for Mercedes. Obviously, a last lap crash losing you, well, effectively 12 points, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not his finest hour, I won't lie.
No. But yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the back of the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes only have 20 points ahead of Ferrari.
Yes.
And as it seems, Ferrari does seem to have the quicker car in some races.
For like the first time in like 15 years, Ferrari have developed the car throughout the season to make it better.
Yes.
Rather than last year where they just became useless and Mercedes almost caught up. It's almost seemed like the other way where Mercedes and Aston Martin had this massive advantage.
Yeah.
And Ferrari has just been like plucking away at it slowly since after Silverstone.
Yeah.
They've slowly just been coming back, getting stronger and stronger each week.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if this can continue and how it leads to next year, actually.
Yeah, and especially with the races we've got coming up, is a wide variety of circuits as well. Because you've got the high altitude of Mexico. You've got Qatar coming up. Then obviously Qatar this weekend. Yep. You've got the massive streets of the Las Vegas street circuit coming up. And obviously the greatest track of all time, Yas Marina, to front it off. But
Yas Marina may be dull, but I said this last week. All the dull tracks have had really good races this year. Yeah. So there is still hope.
Yes, very true. But I promise this is Yas Marina.
We'll get some rain, it's fine. Get some sprinklers.
To be fair, it's not like they can't afford it. But yeah, and don't forget the actual best track of them all, Brazil.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We got Interlagos.
Yeah,
is it sprint weekend?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think what sprints have we had this year? We've had Baku.
Yeah.
Where else? Spa, we had one.
Yeah.
Qatar this weekend.
Yes.
We haven't had one since the summer break, have we? This is the first one.
Yeah, we have Qatar and back-to-back at the US as well. Qatar has one.
Oh, yes, that's true. Qatar, Brazil.
There's meant to be still 6.
I'm sure there was another one earlier in the season. Definitely wasn't Monaco.
No, I don't think that...
It wasn't Hungary. I'm really struggling.
Wasn't meant to be Imola, but obviously that got cancelled.
No, I think Imola was going to be the new qualifying format where it was hard, medium.
Yeah, and then they did that in Hungary, I believe.
I'm sure there was another one.
No, I'm trying to think as well.
I'm
genuinely just looking. I'm definitely not looking at it right now.
This is really bad.
No, but obviously, yeah, there's definitely a shed load of points to be won, and this seems to be brewing quite nicely.
Austria.
That's why.
That's Austria. There we go.
That race has been completely erased from my memory this year.
Yeah, it was Baku, then Austria, then Belgium, Qatar this weekend. Well, today.
Yes.
The USGP next weekend, not Vegas, and then Brazil.
Yeah. Fair. But yeah, I mean, let's see. I mean, especially because obviously you've got a Ferrari that seems to be obviously got that straight line speed and that sort of stuff, and then Mercedes seems to be a bit better on those slow speed corners. So then we'll have to see how it all brands out from there. I mean, if there's any, I suppose we can move on to Ferrari as well.
Yeah.
That race win from Carlos Sainz. I don't think he actually put a foot wrong at all this entire weekend.
He proved that he is a very smart driver.
Yeah.
His ability to kind of just back Norris up.
Yeah.
Or back into Norris. So Norris got the DRS. He was protected because I think he knew realistically that if Norris tried to overtake him, he could hold him off.
Yeah.
And Norris would be stupid too because they'd both get overtaken at that point.
Yeah.
So I think he put trust in his old teammate and just played it really well. Like he said, just within DRS.
Yeah.
Got away when they started to seem vulnerable and built a gap when he had to.
Yeah. No, I mean, the thing is, Carlos has always been that sort of smart driver. He's never had the fastest in terms of raw pace alone, but he definitely has that moment where he really is a very good tactician. Especially, I mean, we saw that especially when he had to become his own strategist halfway during the year. But
yeah, we don't talk about that.
No, we're definitely not. But yeah, whereas obviously, and Leclerc seemed to be quite comfortably the second driver this weekend, which is not often you see very often with Leclerc. But
no, it's not something you see very often. I think he was unlucky as well. He got a good start, and he kind of like sacrificed. Literally was the term that I think it was Mercedes used. Ferrari are sacrificing Leclerc basically to protect Sainz, which I think in the context of the season made sense. I think it shows that although people have thought, oh, there might be some tension at Ferrari, I think it showed that they are both happy to be there. They can see the project coming through now with Fred Vasseur kind of starting to put his touch on things.
Yeah.
It's all starting to come together a little bit. Like the strategy seemed good on the whole. Obviously, they got unlucky with the pit stops, but
yeah,
they're just starting to be a bit more consistent. Seem to have Mercedes in their back pocket a bit, but McLaren, as we'll get onto in Japan, seem to be kind of the second best or like the fourth best. There's no kind of in between.
There's definitely a very tight split between the three, which at least is good to see. Very, very nice to see and everything. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned McLaren. I think quick and talk about McLaren before we had to do a very quick break, and then again, we'll talk about Oscar Piastri. Kind of went under the radar, 17th to 7th.
Yeah, had a really good drive actually. Massive comeback on a track where actually a lot of people struggled to overtake. Yeah, he drove really well, drove sensibly, didn't get into any mistakes. First time driving there as well, I think. Actually.
Yes, I believe so.
So to do that after being, I think, unfortunate in qualifying with Lance Stroll being a numpty, to put it politely. He had a really good weekend actually. Yeah,
and then Lando Norris just being Lando Norris.
Yeah, just
unfortunately he still can't win a race at the moment. But
no,
I don't
think he would have got a podium had both Mercedes not pitted.
Yeah.
So slightly inflated result, but I think he deserved it how he drove. So
for sure.
I don't think there's any complaints really.
Yeah. No, it's definitely good to see how McLaren have just really progressed. I think we probably mentioned that a few times, like the way they've just come out of nowhere this season. And yeah, it's good. I don't know. I can't help but root for them slightly.
I mean, I can't lie. As a Ferrari fan, it sounds really bad that I want McLaren to do well, but I think Oscar Piastri might be my favourite driver on the grid.
I think he's definitely become mine now.
He almost gives me like Kimi vibes. Like he's just very chill. He doesn't really talk much.
No.
And when he does, he's like either really happy. He's like a cross between Ricciardo and Kimi.
Yeah.
He's like really happy, just doesn't talk that much.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like what you want from your racing driver.
Yeah, as well. We do. The only thing we're missing is just the iconic radio messages, but
yeah. Oh, what time?
Yeah, but let's see. Well, let's see how that goes anyway. But yeah, I think in terms of the top four, I think I might as well just put it to the floor right now. Who do you reckon will be second, third, and fourth?
With the races remaining, I think Ferrari will be second. Because I think both drivers are driving relatively well. Even though I think Sainz is driving better than normal, and Leclerc's driving okay. But Leclerc's okay because of the raw pace he has is still pretty good. Yeah. McLaren third. No, McLaren won't be third, sorry. I think they can't catch Mercedes. They're a bit too far behind. Yeah. Mercedes third, but McLaren will be close, and then fourth, and then Aston Martin fifth. Yeah. Obviously Red Bull. Yeah. Have won it already, so.
And I suppose another question to ask. Do you think another driver would win a race that's not Verstappen or Perez or?
Yes.
And what? I reckon it will be Brazil.
I don't think it will be Brazil. I think that Red Bull, they'll learn their mistakes from last year. I think they want to win Brazil this year. It'll be like almost like a personal point to do well there.
True.
I think we might see an upset this weekend in Qatar. And I wouldn't be shocked if we see someone different in Qatar.
Fair. That is very true. I mean, I'm probably going a bit technical here, but what Qatar does, you know how we talk about ride heights? Is that sort of a high riding track?
Brazil is.
Yeah, Brazil for
Qatar
sure.
is a little bit. It reminds me a bit of Silverstone, just with a slightly higher ride height. We know McLaren do really well there.
Yeah. No, because if it's a higher ride height, then Red Bull are done for.
Yeah.
That's basically what did them out in Singapore.
That's why they might struggle in Brazil.
Yeah.
Well, Vegas as well. It's a new road.
Yeah.
But it's a street circuit. It's going to be bumpy.
Yes, definitely will be. But yeah, if I'm trying to remember 10 years ago when I went to Vegas, the roads were extremely bumpy. So
we have hope.
Yes, hopefully.
We rapid in a straight line, just can't brake or turn.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, but we'll probably just quickly wrap anyone else noteworthy from Singapore, and then so in that case we'll go to a break. Welcome back to the Warwick F1 show. So, I suppose the last thing to talk about Singapore is probably the biggest headline to come out of it was the Saturday qualifying, where end of Q1 we saw a dark green Aston Martin driven by Lance Stroll. I can't remember, to be honest, I can't remember the actual timings of the lap, but then it was it was pretty scary looking shunt at the final corner coming in.
Very big shunt.
Yeah, where literally the car just totaled itself on the wall, and yeah, it was just a really scary thing to watch. But
it was quite scary, but it's also concerning that he kind of kept his foot in.
Yeah,
that he was on the curb, it started to spin. I don't even think he let go of the steering wheel.
I don't think so. You did.
No, I think he did for that one. I'm thinking of someone else in Japan. I think I'm thinking of Japan. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, but, yeah. Either way, not his finest hour.
No.
Not that he's had many finest hours. I think he's probably only had two, in my opinion, which was the podium in Baku in the beginning of his career and that pole in Turkey.
Yeah. Turkey, Baku, he did well in a qualifying at Monza once.
Yeah. But
that's about it.
Yeah, Lance Stroll isn't really... I know we always talk about Lance Stroll and whether he should be in Formula 1, and I think both of our opinions are quite... No, so we already end that debate there, but it's just like... How long do you think Lawrence Stroll, Big Daddy Stroll, is actually going to keep up? Because you look at him, yes, he was close to Sebastian Vettel, but I don't think Vettel really cared at that point in his career as well, and he did fall off. Yeah. But then you look at Fernando Alonso. Don't get me wrong, Alonso is one of the best drivers on the grid right now.
Yeah.
But he's absolutely finessing Lance Stroll, and if you're really going to be looking to compete with the top four teams, you're going to need both drivers to be on their A game and really pushing up there. And I don't know, this season has just showed that Lance Stroll doesn't really do that enough, in my opinion.
No, he's shown flashes, like we've said, but it's just really inconsistent. And his average is just, frankly, not good enough. Like, he causes a lot of damage. He's not amazing for feedback. He's just not an F1 driver at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So whether we'll see him pass the new regulations would be my guess as when they might get rid of him.
Yeah, true.
If they do. Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems to be that he's kind of costing them more money than actually earning them money.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of crashes, yeah, Logan Sargent, again, another shunt to end the race that caused a safety car and stuff. Yeah, it's not
ideal.
No. I think it's like, I saw they're doing the World Destructors Championship, and he's quite comfortably at top of like $2.7 million.
Yeah, and for a team that's got no money,
yeah,
it's not really what you want.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a driver on the grid that's outperforming his 3-year veteran teammate.
Yeah.
Without a seat next year.
Yeah.
So I would be if I was Liam Lawson, I would be on the phone to James Vowles and Christian Horner saying, get me in that Williams.
Yeah.
Because it saves everyone money.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the American sponsorship is not going to give that much money.
No, I'm sure we'll get another. We've got an American team. If they want to go sponsor someone, sponsor them. That
is true. Yeah, especially. Shall we talk? Oh yeah, I suppose we'll talk about that later on as well with the big news coming through. With Andretti being
yes, of course.
With Andretti Cadillac or whatever being approved at FIA. We'll definitely talk that a bit later on. But yeah, I mean, in terms of we've sort of gone through our winners and spinners of the Singapore Grand Prix. I think winners obviously Sainz and Ferrari.
Yeah. I think Gasly again, another good weekend.
Yeah.
His teammate was unlucky although as well. Ocon was having a relatively good race.
Yeah. Liam Lawson?
Yeah, again, Liam Lawson, another really good weekend. I think for spinners, though, you look at Haas, who tried a strategy and it just didn't
Well, they did get a point at the end.
Did they?
Yeah, I think was it Magnussen Hulkenberg got... One of them got 10th place.
Oh, dear. Even then, I think it wasn't their best. Did Alfa Romeo... I don't think they had a great weekend either.
No.
So all the mid-teams.
Joe Guanyu got 12th. And Valtteri DNF'd.
Oh dear.
I think Alfa Romeo just had an absolute shadow of a season.
They've just kind of been non-existent. They're just waiting to become Audi at this point.
Yeah, but they're just sending it through at this point anyway. In terms of other spinners...
George Russell?
Yes, very much so. It is not his finest up, but it's also very unfortunate at the same time.
It was, but you've got to concentrate.
Yeah.
You're on the last lap.
Especially
you're on the podium.
Yes.
Don't throw it away. You're in a title fight, a constructors fight for second.
Yeah.
Don't let people get points.
That 12 points can cost a lot.
Well, it was more than that in that swing. It was an extra. It was 14 because Leclerc gained an extra 2.
Yeah,
as well,
they're very true. Very true. But yeah, and then maybe Aston Martin, because Fernando Alonso was 15th. I don't know what happened to him. I think he got done over by strategy. And obviously Lance Stroll had that massive crash, which means he didn't even start the race on the Sunday. So
just anonymous. Completely anonymous.
But yeah. But then at the end of the day it was still a fairly enjoyable race.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But yeah, and at least this is a race that could be bothered to be awake for, because we'll move on to Japan.
Oh, I was awake. It was great.
I couldn't wake up. I couldn't be bothered.
I thought the title might have been won. Well, one of them was, I suppose.
Yeah. No, I think it was just seeing one of the practice. I think it was FP1 where Max Verstappen finished like a second and a half ahead of everyone else, and I saw the data where it's saying like his long runs were 1 second quicker a lap than everybody else. I'm like, I've just thought this race was just gonna be a complete snooze fest.
Yeah, especially in like sector 1 and sector 3, where like being good in sector 2 means nothing really.
Yeah,
the Ferraris were good there, but ultimately you can't overtake.
Yeah,
it might keep you in DRS range, but Verstappen was just gone by the first sector.
Yeah, for sure. It's just obviously everyone. I think a lot of people are kind of hoping that Red Bull might continue their down streak.
Yeah, blaming it on the rule changes of flexi wings.
Yeah, no, it had nothing to do with flexi wings. It was just
Red Bull.
Yeah, it was just bad setup. At the end of the day for them. But yeah, I mean, we move on to Japan. A race that it was good. We had a good side to side, a few good overtakes.
Yeah, it was like an average race for the season.
Yeah.
But there was really good overtaking down the field. Some really cool overtakes, but nothing interesting up front.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll probably go through the running order for that now. Obviously, like I said, Max Verstappen absolutely dominating this weekend, finishing 19.4 seconds ahead of second place.
That's quite disappointing.
Yeah.
Only 19.
Only 19 seconds ahead. With Lando Norris, which did help Red Bull secure the Constructors' Championship for the 6th time in their history.
Impressive.
The 2nd in a row now.
Lando Norris got a bit feisty with his teammate.
Yeah.
Which was kind of unnecessary, but
yeah. He's like, I remember he was just like, oh, I'm just going to be in dirty air and everything, so just let me go, or something, in a nutshell. It's just like...
So basically just saying, why do you hate me?
Yeah.
It's like, no, Lando.
Yeah.
Just suck it up for 2 laps.
Yeah. So, yeah, Lando Norris, and then obviously Oscar Piastri coming in 3rd place.
First podium in F1.
Yeah.
It wasn't a sprint race.
Yeah. No, and it was a very solid drive from both McLarens.
Yeah, really.
No, McLaren was just strong that weekend.
It was really good, actually.
Yeah, considering Charles Leclerc coming in 4th for Ferrari.
Yeah, had a really good drive as well.
Yeah,
actually.
And that Ferrari also looking fairly decent as well. Lewis Hamilton coming in 5th for Mercedes. We'll probably talk about their scrapping with his teammate.
Very lucky to come in 5th as well, actually. But
yeah. And then, 6th place, Carlos Sainz with George Russell coming in 7th.
Carlos.
And then, Fernando Alonso in 8th place. Again, Aston Martin just dropped down.
Was actually slower than Vettel was in the Aston last year.
Yeah.
Which is not ideal.
No. Yeah. Then Esteban Ocon coming in 9th for Alpine, with Pierre Gasly coming in 10th with a double point finish.
Yes.
Oh, yes. At least the engines decided to stay intact.
Yeah, it wasn't warm enough for them to blow up.
No.
They were on strike this week. They didn't go on strike this week.
But yeah, then obviously 11th and 12th were both AlphaTauris, with Liam Lawson getting ahead of Yuki Tsunoda, their 3-year veteran.
The same weekend that he was told, sorry, we're not signing you, we're going to sign a 30-plus-year-old driver who's a little bit washed at this point.
Yeah.
And a teammate that you've outperformed every week.
Yes. Yeah, I think he took that a bit personally that weekend. Rightly so. But yeah, it is what it is. Again, Joe Guan Yu 13th for Alpha, Nico Hülkenberg and Magnussen in 14th and 15th.
God.
With Haas just being absolute non-existent as well.
Kevin Magnussen was a victim.
True.
of a certain driver who had about 4 retirements in one race.
Yes. Yeah, and then, we'll go into the DNFs. We've had 5 this weekend. The inevitable Logan Sargent DNF.
Yes. After a crash in qualifying.
Yep. Lance Stroll.
Shock.
Yep. Alex Albon, but that's because he was punted in the first corner.
He was rear-ended in that one.
Yeah. Valtteri Bottas, which...
it's not really a surprise anymore.
Yeah, and I think the engine just let go or something like that.
I think he was involved in that first lap crash, wasn't
he? I can't remember. He was involved in that as well, but not again. Yeah. He's just not been able to do anything.
I don't think he just really cares at this point. He's just like, I've got money. Yeah. I'd rather go and watch my girlfriend go cycling.
Yeah, be in Australia, grow out mullet.
Yeah, what a mullet though. Huh? What a hero. He's a better Australian than Daniel Ricciardo.
Very true. And the reason why I left him last is because I want to talk about him first.
Yes.
Sergio Perez in an absolute shocker of a race.
Oh, it was so bad.
I don't think I could...
It was so bad.
We talk about like the Red Bull second seat being cursed, and every single, because we look at Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, and Checo.
He's actually underperforming those two. Albon and Gasly even had a better Red Bull stint than Perez has had this whole year.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous. I'd get Gasly back in, to be honest. He's had a few years to mature.
I don't think Gasly's gonna ever go.
I don't think he'd want to, but if I was Red Bull, I'd go to him before I went to Albon, I think.
True, very true, but yeah.
No. He somehow retired twice.
Yeah, no. It's just like he literally just crashed into everybody in the back of the grid.
He just couldn't brake properly.
I know.
It was like watching a 5-year-old play Forza Motorsport.
Yeah. Or seeing my cousin drive in GTA and literally just crash into every single car ever.
Yeah, it was worse than an NPC performance by Sergio Perez.
Yeah. Question: Is he gonna stay next year?
He's got to. The only other option would be Liam Lawson, but that's a bit of a big step.
Yeah.
I can't really think of anyone else to maybe look to. I don't think they'd want, or Verstappen definitely wouldn't want Norris.
No, No, I don't think Norris would want to go Red Bull anyway. Not that, especially with McLaren looking good now.
I was really shocked that they didn't get Danny Rick in for Perez and put Lawson in the AlphaTauri.
I'm surprised as well.
That would have just made so much sense.
Because at least you have that experienced driver in that second seat who knows the team, who knows the driving style.
Gets on really well with Max.
Yes, literally the bromance before Carlando.
Yeah,
is what we're talking.
That's the fact that there's like Red Bull bottles that have him and Verstappen, not him and Perez.
Yeah,
it's just silly.
And obviously, we're talking about the last person who could actually compete with Max in the same car was Danny Ricciardo. Even though in the 2018, when Verstappen stopped crashing, he actually was way clear. Yeah. But then they were still neck and neck in 2017.
Yeah.
Most of 2016, they were neck and neck. In fact, Ricciardo was better then.
Yeah, I think that was Verstappen's first season, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're talking 16-year-old in that.
16? No, he was 18 then, wasn't he? No. 19.
Yeah, no, he was 16 when he started, I think. No, 17.
So he would have been 19? It was like his 19th birthday or something, like that weekend.
Yeah.
Which would mean what? That was... Max Verstappen's been in F1 for almost 10 years now.
His first season was 2015. 2015 was his first season. This is his...
8th?
Yeah.
9th.
8th. This is the 8th season, so next year will be his 9th. He's an 8-year veteran in Formula 1 and he's barely 25.
If he wins the next 2 titles, he will have won half of the titles of the seasons he's participated in.
That is scary. That is scary.
That's ridiculous.
But I mean, credit where credit's due. He is one generational talent.
I'm not even a massive Red Bull fan, but he's just a human cheat code.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't think you can complain about how good he is now.
I think even Lewis has come out and said, you know what, fair enough, fair play.
Yeah.
At that point, you're like, that must have hurt him so much to say.
Yeah.
To compliment Red Bull and Max Verstappen.
Yeah. According to Toto Wolff, it's just a Wikipedia stat, so...
Oh, Toto. What a silly man. Toto not being at Suzuka really didn't help.
Yeah. Oh, he's not there. He wasn't there.
He wasn't there because everyone was like, "Oh, the last time Toto wasn't at a race, it was Brazil, and they won that. So maybe it will happen again." And then their drivers almost imploded.
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, Red Bull has just been too good this season. I think there's nothing really else to say there.
Yeah, I think they deserve the constructors. I don't think anyone can say they didn't.
No, for sure.
There's no accusations of cheating or any silly things coming up this year, which makes a nice change.
Yeah, and I suppose if for once we can see the constructors title being won normally.
Yeah.
Because I think we'll probably touch on it before we do predictions, but yeah, Max Verstappen can't just win a title normally right now, because obviously 2021.
Max Verstappen could win the Constructors' title this year.
Yes.
He currently is.
And I think he would.
It's quite scary. It's very scary.
That's just how good he's been this season.
Yeah, it's just silly.
Yeah. But, yeah, and I suppose we'll just quickly move on to I think we might as well move on to Lewis Hamilton anyway.
Yeah.
With the scrappage he had with George Russell. This is one where they actually were fighting each other. Yeah,
because they basically did what Ferrari did with Charles, but with George.
Yeah.
And kind of just left them out on a one stop. That's what they did to Charles in Singapore, sorry.
Yeah.
They kind of just left them out on a one stop on a really high deg circuit.
Yeah.
And then we're like, sorry, mate.
Yeah,
it didn't work. I guess we'll leave you out.
I mean, to be fair, he did do a good overtake on Lewis at the final chicane.
Yeah, he did really well.
And then I think was it Spoon Corner when Lewis Hamilton just barged him off the circuit?
Yeah,
which is
there's just no love lost between those two. No. I'm really looking forward to somewhere like Brazil.
Yeah,
where they could both do well.
And then I think Lewis Hamilton did a good overtake on Alonso 130R.
Yeah. Flashbacks to 2005, but the other way around.
Yeah. But yeah, again, I think Mercedes are just They're going back to 2015 vibes.
Yeah, 2015, 2016.
Except the car isn't as good, obviously.
It's gonna be Nico hit me.
Yeah, I think I think it's going to happen inevitably, and it's going to be one bloodbath.
I'm really waiting for the moment George Russell says in an interview, "I'm the only Mercedes driver to have won a race since I joined them." That would hit a nerve so hard.
Oh, that will be interesting to see.
It's so funny. I'd actually laugh, I think, if I heard that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll back it. He's not wrong. He's not lying.
Yeah.
But.
No. Yeah, but I think to say will definitely boil a few people's blood.
Just a little bit.
Only a little bit.
And Toto would say, "No, shush. It's just a Wikipedia stat. Wins don't matter."
Yeah, and then you got Christian Horner in the background just eating popcorn.
Yeah, just happily, and probably every single team principal.
Yeah,
would just be sat there like, yeah, this team that was really good now has actually had competition, and they've just capitulated.
Yeah, because I think Mercedes was just really good at building a car.
Mercedes have never had good people management, never had good strategy. Their car was just always insane.
Yeah,
and James Allison went for it, and now their car's useless.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the second he because he stepped down pretty much at the end of the old regs.
Yeah,
and
they were, we're gonna make this really cool no side pod design, and it was useless.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I feel that the biggest weakness, in my opinion, has actually been the strategy.
Oh yeah,
because it was never good during the dominance either.
No, it's just got worse.
Yeah. And obviously now, because the strategy plays a much bigger part, considering where in the grid they are, they've just been completely exposing that with their weaknesses.
They did a bit better the other week in Singapore. Like, it was a good idea.
Yeah.
But also, I think if it was Ferrari had done that and had done what they did with George Russell in Singapore, in Japan, there would have been outrage.
Yeah.
But because it's Mercedes, they've won 7 or whatever it is, constructors. Or 8. Yeah. No one cares. It's fine.
Yeah. But. It was a bit like I think I might as well bring it up once, but we'll end it there because this is a Formula 1 show. But like everyone caring about the Liverpool VAR because it happened to a big team.
No, I'm sorry. If you're Liverpool, you can't be complaining that the thing that has helped you more than any other team
for sure.
has gone wrong once.
Yes.
And Jurgen Klopp is like, even Liverpool fans are being like, Jurgen, what are you doing at this point?
Yeah.
We don't want a replay.
We've all moved on. We've all moved on.
I think Pochettino got the nail on the head. He said, I really trust VAR. I think VAR itself is really good. It's like, I trust the car, but don't trust the driver.
Yeah.
But it's a people issue.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think Klopp said that as well. I don't want people blaming the technology. It was just, he actually went to that. So I don't want to blame the person, the people, because it was just a massive mistake at the end of the day. It just needs to be improved, the procedures.
But I want a replay where I had 2 of my players sent off because I played really badly.
Yes. Oh well, but yeah, let's move back to Formula 1.
Yeah.
Because we could sit here for hours on that debate.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. Just looking at the order again, I think we'll quickly touch on McLaren. I think. Yeah,
just a really solid weekend there. Their revival has been quite extraordinary.
Yeah, Andreas Stella has really spearheaded a good rebound program this year, and hopefully the only way for them to go is up. But obviously,
hopefully they don't do what they do every year and have a really good comeback, and then come back in March with the dreadful car.
Yeah,
that'd be really bad.
Yeah,
and really funny, but really bad.
Yeah, but that would just be the most McLaren thing ever, though.
I'd love it if that happened to Mercedes. That we've got this whole new package that we're getting rid of all our philosophies we've believed in. And it's basically just me like last year's Red Bull car.
Yeah, effectively. Well, speaking of a team that has a track record of copying a car, Aston Martin. Sorry about the side swipe there. But yeah, Fernando Alonso, 8th place in the points, which actually
it was better for them recently, but he just had no pace.
Yeah, he's just a sitting duck on that straight.
Actively saying that the car was bad as well. over the radio for everyone to hear. We're back in that Fernando Alonso cycle.
Yeah.
Starts with the team, really happy, loves everyone. Starts to get performances go down. Outwardly complains about the team, and is going to leave in a big pool of flames.
That's just Fernando Alonso.
He'll be back at Ferrari soon.
At this rate, I wouldn't be surprised.
The cycle continues.
And then he'll lose the championship by 4 points again.
Yes.
Well, it'll be Abu Dhabi, but if you get what I mean. Yeah. But yeah, I think. Is there any other notable performances to talk about Japan? Because otherwise,
no, not notably good. No, I don't think.
Because there's no like big headlining stuff to come from that.
Everyone was quite consistent.
Yeah.
Liam
Lawson.
Yeah, Liam Lawson had a good weekend again.
Yeah.
And the fact that he doesn't have a drive almost infuriates me.
It's criminal.
You've got Logan Sargent, you've got Lance Stroll, both on the grid. You've got Sergio Perez even.
Yeah.
At this point. He's getting old now.
You can throw him in that debate now. You got freaking
Sergio Perez just needs to retire at the end of the season.
Even to maybe being a bit harsher, but maybe even Yuki Tsunoda.
Honestly, I don't understand why they wouldn't take the risk. If I was Red Bull, and I was like, okay, I don't think they're back with Honda yet. Is that next year they're back with Honda? AlphaTauri. Oh no, when do Aston Martin get Honda? Is that 2020?
It'll be 26, isn't it?
Yeah, if I was Aston Martin, I would be getting Yuki Tsunoda in and kicking Lance Stroll out.
Yeah.
Because that way Honda have got their Japanese driver they want.
Yeah.
Alonso can actually coach him because he's got raw speed. Like, no one's doubting that.
Yeah, no, everyone knows that Yuki's got pace. It's just his racecraft is questionable sometimes.
Yeah. And if you're AlphaTauri and you want a Japanese driver, go take a Yuma Iwasa out of F2.
Yeah.
Good driver, third in the championship. Him and Lawson, be a good team.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think Red Bull definitely put themselves in a sticky situation confirming Ricciardo for AlphaTauri rather than Lawson.
Oh, it's so silly. I don't get what you're gaining from having him there.
I suppose they're trying to get experience with Ricciardo.
Yeah, but it didn't really help with Norris, did it?
No.
It just showed how bad he was.
Yeah. Or how good Norris was.
Well, yeah, exactly. It showed both.
But yeah, I think... Yeah, it's a weird one for them in that respect, but yeah, someone needs to get Liam Lawson a seat. It's the same issue that we had with Piastri as well, if you remember.
Yeah, Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri shows why you should put your faith in young drivers.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that performed well in like junior Formula.
Yeah, I mean, Oscar Piastri won in his F2 debut. That's the same caliber as Charles Leclerc and George Russell.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember he won. He also won F3 in his debut as well.
He went back to back, and then didn't get a seat, which is a joke.
But then
and I think Logan Sargent did.
Yeah, Sargent went back. He went directly from F2 to thing. Yeah. He stayed in one season.
What I have seen though this week, which I think is new, is McLaren now have a driver development program.
True. Actually, I have noticed it. I can't remember who it was, but someone got...
It was an F3 driver. It was like Bortoletto or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because it's normally Mercedes or Williams or Alpine.
Yeah. You can say the last notable member of the McLaren Driver Academy was Lando Norris.
Is he McLaren?
He was a McLaren driver. He's been from the start, more or less.
Jeez, that's a long time ago now.
Yeah, but after that, they haven't really had any significant driver academy programs or anything like that. Not like Alpine, which is just...
Every single French driver.
Yeah, and just completely useless.
Victor Martins is in the actual academy's pointless.
Yeah, if I'm I'm not talking about for the caliber, because we look at Zhou Guanyu, who's in the spot.
He was Alpine.
He was an Alpine driver. Obviously, Oscar Piastri, where we had the greatest driver transfer saga in F1 history, probably.
Oh yeah, I forgot Piastri was as well.
That's how we had the whole debacle.
For some reason, because Piastri was with Prema, I always just assume every Prema driver's got a Ferrari.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's just always there. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's just like But I ain't complaining now with that transfer saga,
but Ferrari missed the one good Prema driver.
Yeah. Yeah.
After Leclerc.
Yeah, I think the Prema driver after that again F1 was Logan Sargent. Because I remember
Sargent was at Prema.
He was at Prema the same year Piastri won the championship. He came.
Was he? I thought that was Schwartzman.
It was no, because they do 3 drivers, isn't it?
Not F2.
No, in F3 I meant.
Oh.
Sargent was Prema in F3.
Yes, he was.
Because it was Oscar Piastri.
Schwartzman.
No, not Schwartzman. He was the year before, I think.
Yes, because he was with Mick Schumacher.
Yeah. Because, it was him, and then what's his name?
Vesti.
Yeah, Frederick Vesti. Because I remember watching that last, because that was a really, really good title sign weekend. Because Sargent was actually breathing down on Piastri's neck on that championship. He crashed in that first race. But I don't think so. It was actually his fault that time.
I know, but
someone actually punted, but obviously,
in hindsight,
that's just inevitable. And then, and then Teo Pourchaire just nicked second place in that championship that year. Because he had I remember he had the massive late season charge then.
Yeah, Teo Pourchaire was like the highest rated driver in like it seemed like forever, and he's just been so mid. Yeah. He's won one race this year, and he's top of the championship.
To be fair, I don't care.
He won one. This year. He won in Bahrain by like 50 seconds, and has just been. He's got about 8 seconds, but he just hasn't won a race in ages.
Oh wow. But yeah. Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, Piastri's an F1. He deserves it. Fully deserves to be an F1. Yeah. It's hard to...
There's some F2 champions that you question a bit. Like Drugovich, I was like...
Yeah.
He's a good driver, but I think he'd be better suited somewhere like IndyCar or...
For sure, yeah.
Something like that.
And obviously, with another F2 champion got booted within 10 races.
Nick de Vries.
Mr. de Vries. Which I do feel sorry for him for. He got booted, but again, he didn't
put in such a bad situation.
Yeah, he can't do much. Obviously, Mick Schumacher got booted from Haas, even though probably a little bit harsh, but again, he wasn't performing. So,
yeah, that would be interesting. Mick Schumacher and the Williams, because he's got Mercedes
tires. Because Mick Schumacher is on the sidelines right now. I don't know if he will. I don't know.
I don't think he'll ever come back.
Yeah.
The names no, he'll go to Audi. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I think he's waiting for 2026.
He'll be so old by then. He'll be like, I say old, he'll be like 28.
Yeah.
That's had a lot. That's like 4 years out of F1.
Yeah.
It's quite a long time.
I think he will come. He will return at some point anyway, next year or two. Probably another year out, and then we'll see when most of the grids.
He might go into Sauber, I suppose.
True. Because especially in the next couple of years, Audi's going to have a much bigger say about what happens.
Yeah, this is true.
So, but yeah. We'll quickly head back to Japan. There's nothing else there. I suppose last thing to do is race rating.
Like a 6.5, 7. It was like alright. It was entertaining for a 5 a.m. race.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7 because of the fact that we actually had some good on-track overtakes.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just a standard race where nothing really happened.
It was like an NPC 2023 race.
Yes. Yeah, NPC races I think has been the norm this season, unfortunately. But I think that kind of leaves them 2 races. I think we'll go for another break, and then after that we'll quickly mention any news that's come through. I think main thing being Andretti being approved into Formula 1 by the FIA. And then we'll preview Qatar. Well, we'll see preview literally FP1 has happened as we're filming. So we have a little bit of a benchmark for predictions.
We have knowledge.
So but yeah, welcome back to the final segment of the Formula 1 show. And this has gone very well.
Well, without our main host.
Yes.
I've never hosted. You've not hosted for like
6 months now.
Yes.
But no, we're surviving. It's all good. Going to the final segment now. We've got predictions and the Qatar Grand Prix. So, spoiler alert, we have already had free practice 1 by the time we are filming this.
That's fine, it doesn't matter.
So, but free practice 1 does not mean anything anyway, even though this is the only practice session of the weekend because it is the 4th sprint weekend. So, yeah. Well, at least it's nice. Well, one of the big benefits of having a Middle Eastern race is evening races and evening qualifying. 6 o'clock for 6 o'clock British summer time for all 3 major competitive sessions.
If you're listening on the radio live, get to the Clarendon on Sunday night for 6 p.m. for the F1 Society race viewing at the Clarendon.
Yep, for sure. We'll get some food and discounts and whatnot. But yeah, no, definitely come down. It's a very nice environment. But yeah, I mean, what do you think of the Qatar track, Lascelles? It's a bit
having done it on online games and stuff. It's really satisfying to drive.
Yeah,
it's so flowing. You can tell it's a motorbike track.
Yeah,
but it's very wide.
Yeah.
So there should be a lot of sweeping overtakes and that sort of thing. So we'll see. I'm hesitant. It's just a long straight and then windy corners.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's only one big straight in this entire circuit.
So long,
but it's almost a mile long or something like that.
It's quite ridiculous. The Aston Martin's going to struggle.
Yes. So I think that's one person who can probably discount from the race is Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Because
maybe the Mercedes as well.
Yeah, but their straight line straight isn't as bad. But
not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah, they made it less draggy. But yeah, I mean, some people like it, some people don't like it. Like you said, on the F1 game, it is really nice to drive. But then again, there's just not.
It's not the overtaking appeal. There's not the big stands that you have like you do in Bahrain.
Yeah, it's not a very visually appealing circuit, I'd say.
No, compared to the other 3 Middle East ones, it's not got the same drama and appeal. Bahrain's it's the season opener, everyone's back, it's going into the night. Same, and obviously Abu Dhabi, the season finale, and even people hate that anyway.
Yeah, but then you look at Abu Dhabi, you got the architecture.
Yeah, and Jeddah's obviously just Monaco on steroids.
Yeah. Yeah,
which is unreal. And then there's just Qatar, which is it's like Suzuka in the desert in my mind. It's one big straight and then a lot of winding corners, some straights where you might get an overtake done into the sweeping right-handers, but
yeah, I know you mean. But yeah, it is what it is. But it's the start of a 10-year contract that started with so we're gonna have Qatar for a while,
a long time.
Yeah, obviously last year paying a gap due to the World Cup.
Yes.
That's why it wasn't on the calendar.
That's true.
And the race before was not actually that bad.
Yep. Yeah, it had tyre issues.
Yes, it definitely had a lot of tyre issues with the killer curves, which I think are still there.
I think so. I don't really know.
I don't know if they've made any changes to that.
They should have.
Yeah, but probably haven't, just to make it a bit more interesting. But yeah, I think notable. Notable for having just showing how good Max and Lewis were that year in 2021.
They were 37 seconds ahead after 17 laps.
Yeah.
And Max Verstappen started 5th.
Yes.
And him and Lewis stayed 8 seconds apart for the whole race once he got into 2nd.
Yeah.
Neither of them were quicker than the other. It was just ridiculous.
They were just too good. Because I think Max took an engine penalty that race? No,
he got the most dubious 3 great place
penalty for basically forgetting to turn a steering wheel in Brazil.
No. It was he came round the corner and he crossed the line and then he slowed down, having not seen the yellow flags, because the yellow flags didn't show up. He'd passed the screen almost.
Yeah.
And it didn't show up on a steering wheel. And so he just finished his lap and then came in.
Let's just say it was not a very fun time for the FIA.
No, it was an interesting few race stretch.
Yeah.
It went Brazil, Qatar, Jeddah?
Something like that,
or was it Qatar, Brazil, Jeddah?
I think, wasn't it Qatar, Brazil, Qatar, Jeddah?
That would have made sense, but it's the FIA, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to have a look right now, but yeah.
For 2021?
Yes. We got to look in 2 years ago now. But yeah. If I quickly head back to the calendar, it was Brazil, Qatar. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it is. So
that actually made sense logistically. That makes a change.
Yeah, for once. But yeah, let's see.
That'll be good.
Yeah, so I think what we'll do... Did we go over the Singapore predictions so far?
No.
Okay, so I'll quickly just go back to them. So, we didn't do Zandvoort Monza predictions because it was a summer break and we didn't make any...
We forgot.
Yeah, definitely didn't forget. But yeah, we're heading in. It was 72-68 to... Well, no, 65-62 to me.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Yeah, so as spoiler alert, apologies there. But yeah, it's... I was going to say no. No, I mixed this all up.
Oh, Chinmay, what have you done?
It's 65-62 to me.
Okay. And then you had your Singapore predictions.
Yes, so I'll go Verstappen, Norris, Russell was my podium.
Norris was second.
And Russell...
Hey, you would have had Norris as third. Russell as third.
Yeah, but
so
obviously...
That's what, 3 points?
Yeah, 3 points there. And then Will Kingswood went for Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton. So that's 4 points for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in that case... And then my 3 points... My 1-pointer was 6 different teams in the points, which I think there were.
Well, you had Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, Haas, Alpine.
Done. Yeah.
AlphaTauri.
Yeah. So more than 6. So the Sainz did get pole position. So that was my 2-pointer.
Your 2 points was Sainz got pole.
Yeah.
You predicted it specifically Sainz.
Yes.
That's mad.
Yeah, but I think again this is after FP1.
Oh, okay.
So, and then at least 2 teams got double DNF. That didn't happen.
No.
No, because I think there was Williams, there was an Alfa Romeo, there was Mercedes.
It's not both Williams.
Both Williams. No, Alex.
Did you specifically say DNF as well?
Yeah.
So you couldn't have had Aston Martin because that was a DNS.
True. That's very true. But anyway, either way, I didn't get it anyway.
No.
So that was another 3 points for me. And then Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, like I said, got 4 points for Will. Max doesn't win was his 1-pointer.
Okay, so 5.
Then 3 different teams on the podium, which there were.
Yeah, so 7.
And 3 plus safety cars, which I think there was only 1.
That was 1.
So that's 7 points to 6 to me.
No,
to Will. Huh?
To Mr. Kingswood.
Yeah, so that makes it 69 to him, 71 to me.
How exciting.
Yeah. So, we're heading that... So, yeah. So, a 2-point advantage coming into this. And, of course, because Mr. Kingswood is not here today, we have... Well, not much of a difference. Will replacing Will.
Yes, but it only seems fair considering I did it early in the season for you and did dreadfully.
Yeah.
So, hopefully I do either really well and redeem myself, but for a different person.
Yeah.
And then I can, if Will does end up winning, I can take all the credit.
Yep.
Or
it's
just payback. It's
true. Very true. Very true.
Cancelling my errors out from earlier in the season where I got 1 point.
Yeah, true. So yeah, it's your turn this week to go first then.
Oh, is it? Oh.
And let me guess. I don't know. It's good. Your first is so difficult.
It's really tempting to not, and just to be really rogue. But I am going to go. I assume we're doing for the main race.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Max Verstappen.
I did not know how you were going to predict that at all.
Oh dear.
No. Okay, so I'm going to just cheat a little bit here.
Oh, you're going to do who you think it's actually going to be second, aren't you?
Huh?
You can do it where you do first.
Well, it makes sense. Bear in mind, I'm first for second place.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, maybe I would. Who
are we going for?
I think I'm going to nick both Ferrari drivers.
Oh.
Leclerc first, Sainz second.
Okay. Now, I'm going to be equally as ruthless. I'm going to go Norris second.
Fair.
And Hamilton third.
Fair enough.
Which isn't something I would normally do, but I'm going to back Lewis over George, which at the moment seems likely.
Yeah. Even though he was 0.3 off in FP1.
But neither of them used the soft tyres.
That's very true. We are looking at FP1 here. Yeah. Ooh. Who do I go? Thing is, do I go for my guns and maybe go for Fernando Alonso as a...
I think you need Piastri.
It was either going to be Alonso or Piastri.
George Russell was just irrelevant.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't trust
Not
him.
Checo.
I don't trust Checo or George. I don't trust
How have we got someone that's already won the constructors and we don't trust their second driver?
Welcome to the 2023 season. But yeah, Piastri. I like Piastri.
Okay, I like that.
I just like Piastri. So that's
I
what
was tempted to do both McLarens, but I thought, in case they're really bad, better to hedge my bets.
Fair. But yeah, I think I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
So yeah, and William, what's your 1 pointer?
So for 1 point, I think across the two qualifying final sections, so either SQ1 or SQ3 or just Q3, there'll be a total of 13 plus drivers make it.
Yeah.
So there'll only be seven or fewer drivers don't get into like a Q3 of some kind.
Fair enough.
I think that makes sense.
My 1 pointer is Max is not on pole in one of the two qualies.
Okay. I would guess more tomorrow. Would be my. I'd lean if I was going to lean one way or the other. I think Max is more likely to not get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. What's your 2 pointer?
There'll be a VSC or safety car, like full safety car, in both the races. So with some form of safety car in both races.
Yep. That's fine. I've got at least 7 different teams score points in the weekend.
Okay, that seems. We had that in Singapore, just in the top in one race.
Yeah, true.
We had 8, didn't we? Was it just
something like that?
Because did Albon get a point?
No.
Then 7.
Yeah, Albon was 11th, I think. So, and then your 3 pointer. What's the big gamble?
Now, this is slightly biased, and it's definitely not what I hope, and it would really rub salt in Will's wounds if this happened. That Ferrari overtake Mercedes in the constructors by the end of the weekend.
I think if this happens, I think we know the entire precedent for the tone of the Qatar GP race review.
And I'll be really happy, and we'll kind of have to be happy because I've got him 3 points.
Yes.
We'll have to be happy about Ferrari beating Mercedes.
Yeah.
Oh. That would also be... Mercedes have a really bad weekend, and I've just said that Hamilton will come third.
True. But yeah, my one is... I'm going to follow up. They probably have ironed out the curves, but I'm going to go for 2 tyre punches this weekend.
Okay.
So...
It doesn't even have to be to do with the curves. So.
Yeah, just 2 tyre punches.
Yeah. Nice.
At least, so...
Big blowers.
Yeah.
Are we saying natural or just from contact?
Natural. Well, the curves are not natural.
As in, like...
Not from collisions.
Okay, not from collisions.
Yeah,
that's fine. So, because collisions is probably not so much a 3-pointer.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so it has to be proper collisions. Okay, But, yeah, I think that's...
okay, I like that.
That's a good set of predictions. So, my predictions were Leclerc, Sainz, Piastri. Max is not on the pole for one of the sessions. 7 different teams score points across the weekend. And at least 2 tyre punches throughout the weekend. But the ones punches from collisions don't count. Okay. Then you have for Will Biddles for Will Kingswood.
Yes.
Will for Will. We have Verstappen, Norris, Hamilton. Your pointer, 13 drivers across the final session, either SQ3 and Q3. Yep. So just a combination of the two. A virtual safety car or safety car in both races. Yep. So both of them has to have something. Yep. And then Ferrari overtake Mercedes in that constructors championship that weekend itself.
I really hope that happens.
That would just be the funniest thing.
It'd be amazing.
And I can just sit
20 back points isn't even that much.
No.
If your predictions are right, that would happen.
Yes. And and I could just be a nice spectator on that episode.
That'd be fun.
Monday
as well. It'll be Monday 3.
It will be on Monday. So
Monday 3 till 5.
Yep. But yeah, definitely.
I think it is 3 till 5.
I think it's 3 till 5, but yeah. Either way, I think that wraps it up for the show today. Pretty bit shorter than usual because obviously
there's only 2 of us.
Just the 2 of us, so get through things much more nice quickly. But yeah, definitely if you are somehow listening to us live, definitely come down to Clarendon on Sunday.
Yeah.
To watch the race from 5 p.m. onwards. If not, especially if you're freshers, if you ever want to come to the podcast, just talk about Formula 1. As long as the only prerequisite is you need to know what happened in the race.
Yeah.
Do not need to be an expert in any way, shape, or form. Just know what happened effectively.
Yeah, I'll put a message out in our announcement chat on WhatsApp, so make sure you're following that or in that group chat anyway.
Yeah.
And just reply to the message, drop me a message, and we'll get you involved, show you the way here.
Yep. And yeah, hopefully we'll see some of you here in the studio at some point during this term, if not during the year.
Good.
And yeah, I think other than that, it is. But thank you for listening. Thank you to Will Biddles for being here, and yeah, thank you for tolerating me as host.
It's fine. I haven't had to listen to any Mercedes propaganda. It's been wonderful.
Yes, at least being a Red Bull fan, I could just sit back as a neutral and just not care about anything right now.
Just be delirious about what your team's done for the last 2 years now.
Yeah, and now sort of hate my own team that I support. But
I feel like McLaren's the team that everyone kind of loves, even if you should hate them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting right here in the McLaren hoodie, so. Yeah. But yeah, I think that calls the end of it. But yeah, thank you for listening to the Warwick F1 show. This is your host Chinmay, and have a good evening.